I've been that lazy dude in the past 2 years to wake up at 9 a.m. in the morning. But for the past 2 years, I've regularly woke up at 4 to 6 a.m. every single morning. No exceptions. And here's how I do it. Now, before we move on any further in the video, here's a little disclaimer. This video is not about all those tips and tricks on waking up early. Sure, I can give you all those tips and tricks like exercise, go to bed early, don't sleep during the daytime, or use blue light blockers and all of that. But you and I both know that that's not very helpful. So instead, in this video, I'm going to give you the exact systems that I personally use to wake up at 4 a.m. every single morning. So let's begin. Now, the first thing you need to understand when it comes to waking up early is that your early morning does not just consist of that morning 4 a.m. time or 5 a.m. time. No, in fact, your morning starts from the night before. So you need to prepare for it if you want to wake up early. And the best kind of preparation you can do is to determine what time you're going to sleep at, so that you can wake up feeling fresh, rejuvenated, and ready for the day instead of groggy. So I've done tons of research on it, and I found that there's this kapha pitta vata timing, which determines what kind of rest you get according to the time you sleep in. And kapha time is during 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Also a.m. like the same, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And pitta timing is from 10 to 2, same a.m. p.m. And from 2 to 6 it's vata timing. So when you sleep during the kapha time, that's when you get the most amount of rest. That's when you get that deep restorative sleep. In fact, it has been scientifically proven that when you sleep before 10 p.m., which is basically kapha timing, you get that deep sleep, which is restorative, which is rejuvenative, and that's the best time for sleep. In Ayurveda, it's even said that if you sleep during the kapha time, 1 hour of sleep is equivalent to getting like 2 hours of rest. So you see how powerful this is. In fact, I've set an alarm for sleep, not for waking up, not just for waking up. I've set an alarm for sleep to wake up. And here you can see there's this alarm on 20 meaning like 8 p.m. So this alarm is for shutting down all of my devices. And there's this final alarm, which is 8:30, and this is for heading to bed. So I sleep during the kapha time to get that deep sleep. And you need to make sure that you get all of that alarm set up today. Set alarm for sleep, not just for waking up early. And I recommend eating food 2 hours before bedtime, as sleeping with a belly that is heavy and digesting is like very much distracting, and it's even like disturbing for sleep. It's not very helpful. Even in terms of health and in terms of quality sleep, it's quite detrimental. So make sure that you get your food 2 hours before bedtime, and that will allow you to naturally cool down and get a better quality sleep. Which brings us to the second thing, which is cool down. Now, as an entrepreneur myself, I have a very busy schedule, like recording content, making like scripts and everything. I gotta read tons of books to create new business ideas, new content ideas and everything. And also I'm a musician, so it gets pretty hectic sometimes. So cooling down before bedtime is pretty essential. And it, as a musician, I will just say it straightforward to you. I love listening to soft kirtan music. In fact, it's my favorite to sleep to. And I'll link in the description if you want to go ahead and make your own playlist. So, yeah, if music feels not to align with your deeper self, then that's fine. You can go over for meditation to cool down, or you can even read books to cool down. Perfectly fine. But practicing shutting down before 1 hour of bedtime is pretty essential, because your mind is boggled up with all of that information, with all of that internet content and social media stuff. So cooling down by living naturally is pretty essential. And here's where the tips actually come to play. Shut down all technology 1 hour before bedtime. And you can even cool down your environment, your room, if you have an AC, if you have If you don't have an AC, well, you can just open up the windows and turn on the fan and everything. But cool down your environment so that you can facilitate better sleep. Otherwise, it's very difficult to sleep in hot environment, honestly. So, yeah, cool down naturally and get better quality sleep. And the third thing is probably the most important here in this whole video. Sometimes we can mess up our routine. Sometimes we can forget to cool down, and that's okay. But how to wake up early still? Even after you've messed up your routine, even after you've forgot to cool down. Well, for that you need a powerful motivating factor. Why do you want to wake up early? Like so early, doing 5 a.m., 4 a.m. every single day, when the rest of the world is sleeping. There must be some kind of reason why. Why do you want to wake up that early? And that is your motivating factor. For me personally, I slept late yesterday. And by late, I mean like 10:30, which is obviously late if you want to wake up at 4 a.m. And I felt pretty groggy in the morning. But because I had that motivating factor, which is literally, I had to go to the temple and reach there by 5. That's my motivating factor. And if you paid attention to what I'm saying, to my words, I didn't say like, oh, I wanted to or I like to. Of course, I like to go to the temple, but I had to. I had to go to the temple because I've said that pure, strong intention that no matter what happens, every single day I'm going to attend the Mangal Aarti Kirtan at 5 a.m. in the morning, every single freaking day, 7 days of the week. No matter what happens, I'll be there in the temple by 5. And because I have that strong intention set for myself, I will go to any extent to make that happen. I will go to any extent, like waking up at 4 a.m. is an easy thing for that. So have that motivating factor for yourself. So what is your greatest motivating factor that would allow you to wake up early in the morning? What is it? And once you have that figured out, literally set a firm intention. Write it down on the paper as a vow. Share it to your family members to keep you accountable and follow through it. Also set some kind of punishment for yourself so that you keep yourself accountable if you cannot wake up early in the morning to fulfill that task, whatever your motivating factor might be. So this is how the discipline comes in automatically. Once you set that firm intention, that motivating factor, and that punishment all lined up in a triangle. And that brings discipline as well, to wake up early in the morning. So that's it for the video. And if you want the full guide on peak performance, then you can go ahead and join my program, Peak Performance for Entrepreneurs. Links in the description. There I go in more detail into topics like these to help you reach your peak performance state as an entrepreneur. And it is specifically designed for entrepreneurial lifestyle. So go ahead and check it out, and I'll see you inside. Good luck and never give up. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.